everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to share a testimony with you all. It's a testimony I've been thinking about. It happened back in May, and I'm just now sharing it because God reminded me about it the other day when I was talking to one of my best friends. I was telling her some stuff, and God reminded me that was a testimony that you never even shared. You know, we overcome by our testimonies, and we encourage other people when we tell our testimonies. So I'm always transparent on this channel, on the podcast, and everybody I talk to, they know that I try to make sure I'm transparent as possible. Well, a couple of months back, I think maybe in the beginning of this year, maybe January, maybe February, and excuse the way that I'm talking, I got my rubber bands in for these braces, so I'm sorry about that, but I gotta get these things off. They've been on way too long, and it's time to get them off, but that's a whole other thing. So anyway, a couple of months back, I had watched this video of this lady. I follow this lady named Tiffany Montgomery, who I love so much. I've been in her groups. I've been in her Kingdom Entrepreneur University. I've been in everything because I watch people's fruit. And I see that she has good fruit, and a lot of people don't really mess with her or really like her because of her approach and how she is. But God has showed me that she's a true woman of God. So I continue to follow her no matter what, because I know that she's helped me grow so much. Like, I've grown so much. But anyway, I watched this video that she did with a lady named Lanika Scott. And I already knew about Lanika Scott because I had followed her some years back when I was in the beginning of my relationship with God. And that's another true woman of God. But anyway, she had told us all to buy some keys because it was a prophetic act of you having these keys because God would unlock some doors in her spirit, because she's a prophet. God showed her that, he was sending down all these keys. So I jumped on the prophetic word because I was like, I know that God loves when we do prophetic acts, when we just come into agreement with the things that he says. And so I bought a whole bunch of keys. I bought a key for a boutique because I plan to one day open up a storefront. I brought a key for a vehicle because at the time I was needing a new vehicle. I bought a key for my marriage, for God to unlock some doors in that area for us as a couple. I bought another key for a brand new house because I'm believing God for a bigger house. And I brought another key for money, I think wealth or something like that, for God to unlock some doors in my finances. So to make a long story short, one of the keys already came true, and one of the keys I was already blessed with. And that is my car key. I finally got a new vehicle. So I had a Nissan, and I love my Nissan. I really love that Nissan. I'm sad that I had to trade it in, but I had it for a while. I had it since 2016, I believe. And I just put a lot of miles on that car. I put a lot of miles in that car. That car had over 170,000 miles on it, and it was only a 2016. So I needed a new vehicle. It was starting to fall apart. There was so many things wrong with it. And on top of that, my son crashed it up twice. Once while he was taking his driver's license test, and then the next time was in the beginning of him learning how to drive. He crashed into a trash can. On top of that, somebody else hit me. So the car just been through it. It had just been through it. I was taking care of it, but it was just always something happening to that car. So I was like, you know what? It's time to get rid of it. And then, when you get ready to pay something off, everything just falls apart, or when you pay it off. So anyway, I had no intention on getting a vehicle, but I knew I needed one. But you know how we are. We try not to spend money, and we try not to get high car notes and all of that stuff. So I was really comfortable where I was paying that note, and I was almost done with it. But I prayed on it, and I asked God. I said, I know I need a new vehicle, and I don't know, I know my credit is not where it needs to be, because at the time I was still working on credit and trying to get it back because I was reckless in my 20s and just trying to get things back on track. That was my whole goal for this year, was to focus on those things, getting my credit right. So anyway, I go, and I already had a truck in mind because I had a truck before, and I knew I wanted another truck, but I wanted a specific truck. I wanted it to be black on black. I wanted black rims. I wanted it to be blacked out. That's what I wanted. And so I went to the dealership. I said, let me just go see it. All I took with me was $1,000. I said, I'm not putting nothing more down than $1,000 in this trade-in. That's all I'm putting. So I get inside of the dealership, but before I even get there, of course, I'm browsing the website to figure out what I want. So they had plenty of cars that I would like. So I reached out to a car salesman, and, he set up an appointment for me to come in. So I go in, get a test drive of the vehicle, fall in love with the vehicle, but still not really sure I'm going to get the vehicle because it's a little bit out of my price range. I'm like, I really didn't want to spend this much, but I also want what I want. You know how we are. We want what we want. So I said some prayers under my breath as I'm driving, and I'm like, God, if this is for me, if this is that key that I brought, then it's going to go well. Everything going to be smooth. I'm going to be comfortable with the payments, and it's going to be all right. So we pull back in the dealership. He's showing me all the features of the truck and everything that it does. And I'm in love with this truck. I'm just looking at it like, I love it. I really want it. And my mindset at the time is like, okay, Billy, you got to start living like you want to live. Like you can't always keep having this poverty mindset of, no, let me just get something really, really cheap. Even if I don't like it, let me just get it. And then, be unhappy? Or do you want to live like you want to live? And then you got to think about how you need space because you started this boutique and you got to have room to transport all these things. And then you have plans on having another child. So you got to make sure you have enough room for all this stuff. So we get upstairs in the finance room. And of course, I get approved. Like I said, credit wasn't even that good. I don't know how I got approved for this vehicle. Get approved. Never had to show any type of paperwork as far as how much money I make or nothing. I'm like, y'all don't need no paperwork. Like, y'all don't need me. I came prepared. I'm self-employed, so I had to pull out my bank statements and, just get everything together. Needed nothing. They needed nothing from me. Like, absolutely nothing. So, to make a long story short, find out how much the payments are. It's a little bit out of my range. So I was a little bit uncomfortable. So I make a phone call. You got to call that other person to see, is this a dumb mistake or is this a good mistake? The person is like, you know what, Billy, if you can afford it and you're comfortable with it, then go ahead and pay it. Go ahead and get it. That's the truck you always wanted. You got approved for it. You didn't have to put nothing down but the $1,000. Like, everything is, it's a luxury vehicle. It's what you wanted. Go ahead and do it. So I get off the phone and then I say one last prayer. I say, God, I'm really not sure about this, but I want to make sure that I don't do anything out of alignment with what you have for me. I know you want us to ride in luxury, but you also want us to be smart. I got to make sure I'm making smart decisions here. God was like, go for it. Go for it. That's what I heard in my spirit. So I said, okay, I'm going to go for it. So I sign all the paperwork and I get inside my vehicle to drive home. And of course, I just cry because God is so good and so faithful. And I got that vehicle back in May. I didn't have to start paying the payments until July. The bank even called me like right before the first payment was due and was like, we need you to come back in, sign some more paperwork because we're going to lower the note. I was like, okay, I'm on my way. So they even lowered it from what I thought it was going to be. And when I say I have not missed one payment, God has made sure that I have been able to afford this note and the insurance and everything. And now, mind you, my insurance is higher now because I'm in a newer vehicle and my son had those 2 accidents in it. So, and then he's on my insurance. So it's just really high right now. It's ridiculous. So I'm believing in God to bring that down too. But all I can say is that God has been faithful. I trust God. I trust everything that he ever says. If he says it, then he's going to do it. And so I just wanted to encourage somebody that if you're believing God for anything, I don't care if it's a vehicle, I don't care if it's a marriage, I don't care if it's a new home, a baby, a new job, a promotion on the job, whatever it may be, whatever you're believing in God for, go to your Father. Stop doubting him. Like, stop doubting him. If you read the Bible, it's story after story after story after story of these types of things happening over and over again. I mean, God will even fight for you if you need him to fight for you. But you got to go to him. You got to stop running from him. You got to stop hiding from him, weighing all this condemnation on yourself because you know you're not living right. But it's okay, because God will take you as you are. Even in your mess, even in your sins, he will take you. I'm not perfect. So for God to be so merciful, for him to be so kind to me, for him to be so good to me, I don't even deserve it. But that's why he gives us new grace every day and new mercy every day. So I hope that this encouraged somebody to go ahead and start asking for what it is that you want. God is your Father. Like, he's your Father. Like, he is your earthly father's father. I don't know if I even said that right, but he's your father that birthed you. He's his father. So he's your father. He's your father. He got you completely. If nobody else don't got you, God got you. Speaking of that, make sure y'all go get y'all Go God sweatshirts or t-shirts today. They are on the website today. I wear this shirt. I try to wear these every other day because people love them and I love God. And it's just like a way of me giving back to God to say, I give you all of the glory and the honor for all that you do for me. I couldn't be more grateful for all that you've done for me. So I'm going to always scream, go God. I'm going to say, go God, because he's the one that's done it. He's going to continue to do it. So y'all have a blessed rest of the day. Love you guys.